What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate, and welcome to my channel. For Mid-American Conference football fans out there, this is my MAC recap and standings predictions. Guys, I've been predicting all 131 teams this college football offseason, and I thank you guys for sticking with me. If you are a fan of a Mid-American Conference team, go back, watch the video I made on your team. But guys, we only got 11 teams left, and we're doing them in Conference USA. That's the last conference we're doing. I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this. I promise we're almost at the end. For those of you that are, hey, maybe this is the first video of mine you're watching, I post videos during the college football season too. We're getting so close to the start of the regular season. And if you could, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, like the video, share my videos, whatever you can to help support the channel. It does mean a lot to me. We got 11 teams left, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Mid-American Conference, and I'm going to be doing my recap and standings predictions. So what I kind of do in this video is give a little bit of a overview on the conference, where I think teams are going to place, and give you a little preview of my conference championship game. So the Mid-American Conference, I think, is going to be a little bit of a deeper conference than some people may think. There are a lot of pretty solid teams here in this conference, and one division in this conference is definitely better than the other. We'll get there here in a little bit. But this is the Mid-American Conference that I feel like could have one or maybe two of the surprise teams in the nation this year. It's just a matter of which of what those teams are going to be. So, again, I'm going to go through team by team, kind of tell you why I've placed them here, where they fall in the standings, and give you my conference championship game prediction as well, and kind of preview that matchup in a little bit. So the standings are going to appear on screen here in 3, 2, 1. Boom, there you go. There are the standings for the Mid-American Conference that I have projected in 2022. So, on the East, or the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see the MAC East, and then the MAC West is going to be on the west, or the left-hand side of the screen. And then you see my predicted conference championship game right down below me that I will talk about in a little bit. But we're going to go through division by division, team by team, and kind of talk about why I have your favorite MAC team placed where I do. And we're going to start with the MAC East on the right-hand side of the screen. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to start out with Akron. I think Akron's going to be one of the worst teams in the nation this year, and they lose their best player in Kanata Muntfield, that wide receiver that transferred over to Pitt. He's going to go help recuperate the loss for Jordan Addison. But Akron is just not a talented team. I don't think the talent is here. I don't think the coaching is here. I really don't think anything is here. Maybe they win one game this year, and that's what I'm predicting. They play an FCS opponent this year, which they may win. I believe it's St. Francis. But look, I think this Akron team flat out is going to be one of the worst teams in the nation this year. That's why I have them at the bottom of this division. Buffalo, I don't think it's going to be any better. But Buffalo, I do think is going to win its fair share of games. Buffalo was a team last year that just wasn't very good. I believe they were 4-8 last year. And this is the Buffalo team that loses a lot. Dylan McDuffie, Kevin Marks, Kyle Van Treese, some defensive talent, just to name a few names that leave. And this is the Buffalo team that likes to ground and pound. It's a rushing style offense, but the offensive line was not impressive last year, and there's millings out there that the offensive line may still be suspect for Buffalo this season. So I'm not expecting much out of the Bulls this year. I know some people are expecting this team to improve from where they were last year. I just got too many question marks about this team. I can't see them really doing much better than 5-7, but 3-9 is where I got them here, 5th in the MAC East. Now, Bowling Green I have here as 4th in the MAC East. Bowling Green football is starting to get better. Now, this is the Bowling Green team that won 4 games last year and is the top team in returning production from a season ago. Bowling Green is very well going to be a team that, well, we could look back at the end of the year and say, wow, they improved yet again. Green, I think is a sneaky contender to maybe make a bowl game this upcoming season. Now, is that what I'm predicting? No, obviously you see them here at 4-8, 3-5 in conference. But Bowling Green is steadily improving. They're steadily getting better. And Bowling Green is a team that I think maybe in the near future we could look at and saying, okay, now it's time to start taking this Bowling Green team a little bit more seriously. I think they're going to fare pretty competitively in the Mid-American Conference this year, but ultimately fall short of a bowl game. Still a solid finish in the standings for Bowling Green standards, in my opinion. Ohio, well, while you would like to see them have a better overall record, by virtue of tiebreakers that I'm projecting, they are 3rd in the MAC East. Now, Ohio is a team that I expect improvement from. this upcoming season. And whether it's a lot of improvement, not a lot of improvement, whatever have you, I do think it's an Ohio team that does improve somewhat this upcoming season. And this is an Ohio team that flat out, look, I still have questions about, right? Who's the running back? Who's going to step up for them at running back? How's the defense going to look this year? Will Rourke be as good as some people think he may be at quarterback, right? There's a lot of questions for Ohio. The non-conference slate is still tough. That's where they struggled last year. They were 3-5 in conference last year. I think they replicate that, and I think there is slight improvement from this Ohio team, but not enough that necessarily will translate to more wins. I got 4-8 for the Bobcats. Now, I think the two real true competitors in this division are Kent State and Miami of Ohio. Talking about Kent State first, as I have them second in this division by virtue of tiebreaker, which means I have Miami of Ohio beating Kent State this season. I think Miami of Ohio gets them at home, and I think is more talented. But when you look at Kent State, there's a lot of talent coming back in the skill corps. But one key piece they have to replace is Dustin Crum, right? The quarterback that was so good for them for the past couple of seasons is gone now. And finding him will not be easy. I believe a guy by the name, and again, forgive me if this name is wrong, but Connor Schlie, I think it's somewhere around there. I believe he will be that starting quarterback next year. And, well, we'll see how he does, right? He has a lot of good skill corps. He has a lot of talent around him, has good production in the skill corps, and some pretty solid rush attack there as well that could help take the edge off. So I think Kent State's going to be able to push for this division this year, but I do have Miami of Ohio finishing ahead of them. This is a team that has a lot of talent coming in, a lot of talent coming back. They're getting some pretty key transfers as well. Miles Marshall is coming over from Indiana as a wide receiver. Michael Dow, the defensive back, coming over from Michigan State. I know that was a defensive back group that wasn't good last year, but Michigan State still going to be a solid team this upcoming season. And Michael Dow was a key part of that defense last year. Should be a key part of this Red Hawks defense, and they very well could have the best quarterback in the conference in Brett Gabbert. So this is a Miami of Ohio team that I fully expect to be right towards the top of the standings. I fully expect to be in this position towards the end of the season, and I fully expect to win this division. I think Kent State can give them a good run, but that quarterback position and a little bit of the offensive line too is a big enough question mark for me to put Miami of Ohio over the top and into the conference championship game. Now coming over to the West, on the left-hand side of your screen, I do have Ball State at the bottom of this division, and I think easily this is the weakest team in this division. Look, you're losing Drew Plitt. A couple other guys are leaving that offense as well. Defensively, they're losing a lot of talent off that team. This is a Ball State team that just loses a lot of production from last season. I don't think they're going to fare that great this year. I got them at 4-8, 2-6 in conference. And easily, in my opinion, I think the worst team in this division. Now, when you take a look at some of the other teams in this division here, Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan are jockeying for that 4-5 position. I believe Western Michigan gets that game at home, so I give them the slight edge over Eastern Michigan in that game, so they're ahead by virtue of tiebreaker. But if you want to flip those two teams, go ahead. These are two teams that I think are going to be pushing for spots in a bowl game, and while each team has to replace their respective amount of talent, I mean, Eastern Michigan has to replace Ben Bryant at quarterback, some defensive talent there as well. Western Michigan has to replace their quarterback as well, and Caleb Ellaby, with Sky Moore leaving as well. That wide receiver quarterback position going to be a little bit of a question mark for Western Michigan this year. I still think while, again, these two teams have to replace their respective parts, I think both are going to be competitive this year, are going to win their fair share of games, and I think we very well could see both of them wind up in the postseason, which is exactly what I have predicted. I have both of them at 6-6, both of them at 4-4 in conference. I expect to see both of them in a bowl game, but if you're going to tell me, well, you can only have one of those two teams in a bowl game, I'm going to go with Eastern Michigan. Western Michigan's got a tougher non-conference slate. They got to go on the road to play San Jose State there as well. But those are two teams that I feel like are going to be competitive this year, but they have to replace their fair share of talent. Toledo, Northern Illinois, and Central Michigan, I think, are the three contenders to push for a spot in the conference championship game. And we're starting out with Toledo here at 8-4, 6-2. This is a Toledo team that loses a lot of production at the wide receiver position. A lot of production. But this is a Toledo defense that was really good last year and should still be really good coming into 2022. I fully expect Toledo to still have a good defense this upcoming season. Their offense, they do return DeQuan Finn, but they also lose Bryant Koback, that running back. So while I think their quarterback play is going to be solid, their skill corps, that might be a little bit of a question mark for Toledo this upcoming season. And for me, that is enough for them to fall to third in this division. I still think with this defense, Toledo is going to be competitive and win their fair share of games. Their defense is too good for them to... Their defense is good enough to keep them in most games they play. But that offense, I have some question marks about, and that's why I don't have Toledo winning this division this upcoming season. I know a lot of people are high on this Toledo team, like this Toledo team, but I'm high on a different team that you see clearly on screen. But Northern Illinois, the winners of the Mid-American Conference last year, I have at second in this division. Yes, Northern Illinois I have at second. You can make the case on why they have the best quarterback in the conference in Rocky Lombardi. And while this team does not lose a lot of production at all, they do lose 2 top 5 tacklers from last year, and they also lose Jevion Ducker at the running back position, as well as Clint Ratkovich. Their third leading receiver is gone there as well. Tyrese something, I forget the last name, I apologize. But look, it's a Northern Illinois team that has a lot coming back, has some transfers coming in there as well. It's a Northern Illinois team that I fully expect to be competitive and to yet again push for a spot in the Mid-American Conference title game. But I think they fall just short because there is one team that I like a little bit more than Northern Illinois in the Mid-American Conference this year, and that is Central Michigan. If you watched my Central Michigan preview and prediction video, you know exactly where this conversation is about to head. But Central Michigan, I mean, I am in love with this team this year. Lou Nichols led the nation in rushing last year. As a freshman, was an 1,800-yard rusher last year. Very easily, if he could have gotten maybe 20 more carries, got to 2,000 yards. I mean, Lou Nichols is a very, very talented player, a very, very talented running back, and one of the best players, and one of my favorite players in the entire nation. They got solid quarterback play out of Richardson last year. This defense, well, okay, yes, they do lose a lot of parts, still have a lot of solid talent on it, and you might say, well, what about the wide receiver position? Khalil Pimpleton is gone. True, but did you look at what they're bringing in through the transfer portal? A couple of pretty key pieces coming over in the portal for Central Michigan. Carlos Carrier is coming over from Maryland along with some other pieces. Dixon is back at the wide receiver position. I am in love with this Central Michigan team. I think this offense is going to be good. I think this defense is going to be good. I think this is hands down, not far and away, because Northern Illinois is close, Miami of Ohio is close, but I think this is hands down the best team, the most talented team in the Mid-American Conference, and I have them playing for the conference championship game against the Miami of Ohio Redhawks, the team that very well could prove to have the best quarterback in the conference this year. And if Miami of Ohio gets the conference championship game, I fully expect him, unless Daniel Richardson has an incredible season, for Brett Gabbert to be named the conference quarterback of the year. But when you take a look at these two teams here, Central Michigan, I do have as the favorite in the Mid-American Conference. I'm just in love with the team. I'm in love with the system. I'm in love with the program right now. I love what they have going for them. I do think that, again, a little early prediction here, they can beat Miami of Ohio in the conference championship game. But what's at stake here? Well, Central Michigan is going to have to pull off a couple upsets to make a run at a New Year's Six bowl game. And for a team in the Mid-American Conference, that hasn't happened since Western Michigan. But Central Michigan, I think, is more than capable of doing it. They're going to have to pull off some wins. But, hey, Central Michigan maybe can play in a really, really good bowl game here if they can win this game. I think these are two very, very talented teams. And the Mid-American Conference is going to be a lot of fun to watch this upcoming season. But there you have it, my Mid-American Conference predictions. Guys, we got one conference left, Conference USA, over the next 4 days, not including today. So the next 4 days as of uploading this video will be Conference USA. 12 videos left in team preview predictions and, of course, the standing recap as well. We're almost there, guys. Remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. Like, comment, subscribe. Tomorrow, we start Conference USA. See all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.